live at the 2009 Emerald City Comic Con from Seattle. This is Skewed Review.
Quick show of hands, how many people have seen one of my panels before? Oh, very good. All in audience. Well, I'm Gareth, and I'm the creator and editor of Skewed Review, and I appear on a couple times, about 5-6 times a year on KSW, doing the movie and game previews, PAX, wrap-up, E3, stuff like that. And my stuff's syndicated. It's running PC Gamer, Movie Hole, Dark Horizons, and Cool, that sort of thing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about movies that are coming in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, stuff that hasn't even gone before the cameras yet. Now, one of the things that we have to emphasize with this is that there's tons of rumors in the day and age of the internet. Everything that we have here has at least been validated by the studios, especially when we start talking about the comic book films. I know there's a lot of conflicting information out. I basically, as of last night at 5 o'clock when I got off the phone with the last of the reps, this is the studio's official stance on where they are with things right now. So, you know, take that as it may. These are the same people that said Justice League America's green and gold, and then they shelved it. And the same thing with Superman, which has been hot and cold off and on for the last couple of years. Starting off, your new Green Lantern, Chris Pine. Apparently the contract will be signed sometime in the next couple of weeks. He is the new Captain Kirk. So apparently the announcement's going to be made. They're going to film in Australia with Martin Campbell, who was the director of GoldenEye, apparently is set to direct it. And no word on Sinestro or anything like that yet, but apparently that's the word. Also, the word on the new Star Trek film is through the roof. They've already told Abrams to start planning sequels, and it hasn't even been seen yet. So we have a little announcement that Abrams sent to us, and I'll read that off a little later about the film. But to make sure that we don't lose this in the the rush of trying to get all of this stuff in, we're going to start off with just giving you some ideas. This is what's going on right now with the superhero films, confirmed by the studios as of last night. They are filming 2 Spider-Man movies back to back. They're going to be released a year apart, 2010, 2011. No word on villains yet. No word on if Kirsten Dunst resigned, and Toby is back, and Raimi is still on the fence as to directing, producing, whatever, but apparently he will be involved in it. Now, right now, you've got Thor, which is coming, and you've heard about that one, and the Avengers is coming. Now, this is the really odd one. You can make sense of this one. Apparently, what they're planning to do is to make the Avengers Iron Man 3. So you're going to get an Iron Man 2, then you're going to get Iron Man 3, which is basically the first Avengers film. And then right now, one of the titles that they're working on with Captain America is going to have Avengers in the title too. So they're kind of trying to figure out how they sequence all of these things. So they're trying not to create a continuity issue, but at the same time, let's remember the studios are trying to make as much money as they can, and which ones can get the cameras first and done is what's going to happen. Now, this is a quote. The company is looking to cluster Captain America and Thor, which will serve as a run-up to the Avengers film. The plan is this will unite the Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Incredible Hulk characters under director Joe Johnston, who is Steven Spielberg protege, who did Jurassic Park 3. Currently, Iron Man 2 remains slated for May 7th, 2010. Jon Favreau will likely direct the Avengers, and another reason the film's been pushed back because he doesn't have time for it. Stellan Skarsgård will join his son Alexander, who is scheduled to play Thor in the movie, which will be directed by Kenneth Branagh. Josh Hartnett is on tap to play Loki because Branagh is a big fan of him. Now, here's one that's going to cause a lot of problems. Any Fantastic Four fans here?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Now, here's going back into a little bit of obscurity. Anybody remember the old independent film that was done that got shelved and never saw?
Oh, yeah.
And you remember how that was put into the works because if it didn't happen, the rights vanished? Well, guess what? That's exactly where we are right now. 20th Century Fox basically has to remake or sequelize Daredevil and the Fantastic Four, otherwise the rights go back to Marvel and they can shop them and make their own deals. Which means you're either going to see them say, hey, you know what, we're giving up on these franchises, we're taking our chances on getting a new deal, or you're going to see something rush into production very, very quickly. So, remains to be seen on that. Now, this is the one I got just last night. I'm very disturbed about this. There's been a lot of conflicting information. Check with some of my webmasters over Superman films. You know, we are Brandon's out, then he's back, then it's coming, then there's a new trilogy, this, every month there's a new storyline. Now, we have heard that Warner Brothers have put some of their superhero-themed films on hold at the moment. What we're being told right now, and this is a direct quote, the red blue blur will not be returning to the cinema screens anytime soon. Warner Brothers has put the Superman series in a deep freeze for the time pending. And so you'll see what that's going on. Now, interesting was that there was a rumor that George Miller was going to be involved to do this. But George isn't available to do that because he's working on a little something called Mad Max 4 Fury Road, which was going to happen, which basically got shelved because apparently there was a scene that they could only film in one area and they were concerned with terrorist and security issues. Well, here's the problem, and I'm glad most of you are sitting down. They're going to do a Mad Max 4 without Mel Gibson at this point. It is going to be done in 3D as an animated film. And that is the current plan right now, is that it's going to be, you're going to hear a lot of 3D stuff coming at you in the upcoming stuff. Yeah. And news that's going to be announced next week, and I'm really happy about this, is Jackie Earle Haley, who played Rorschach, has apparently been tapped to do the new Freddy Krueger. So you're going to... You talk about an amazing guy. You know, he was from the Bad News Bear films. He drifts around. He ends up with direct-to-DVD stuff like Dollman. He's out of film for 13 years. His first movie back, he gets an Academy Award nomination, and then he does a couple other films in between. Gets into Watchmen, and now he's like one of the hottest guys out there. I mean, that's just truly an incredible story. Now. The folks at 20th Century Fox asked me to pass this along for you. They have a booth upstairs, too. When you get a chance to go up there, they give me a lot of stuff. I'm sure it goes without saying that we'd all love to have Hugh Jackman in the cast of the film and everyone do the movie premiere in Seattle. Yeah. Right now, Fox is doing a contest. You basically go online, you enter your city. The city that gets the most votes hosts the premiere. And the Seattle PR firm has put a big push. They said, we want this film. And, remember, we're also having to compete with population problems. Like right now, a lot of the votes are swinging in the East Coast. So they said, get online. They have the URL, and we can get that too. We can email you that. Just spread it to all your friends, because they said it's strictly a vote count. Whoever gets the most votes, that city is going to get the full red carpet premiere with the cast and everyone. So, yay. Now, as we mentioned, Jackie Earle Haley, and I mentioned Chris Pine is going to be the Green Lantern. Word is Submariner is about to make an appearance, and it's none other than Vin Diesel. That's apparently who they're approaching. And, Vin is currently eyeing another XXX film, and he says, yes, even though they killed off my character, we've got that figured out, don't worry about that. And apparently, production, at least early writing, has been started on Pitch Black 3. So he kind of referred to it as like a Hobbit thing. He said, this is the introduction. Once we get this done, then we can do a whole series on the Underverse and what that's all about. So now we started playing around with some of the interesting films that are going to be coming out. Now, by the way, it was finally confirmed. We've been talking about this one at the panels for the last year. Men in Black 3 has finally been given the green light, so now it's just a matter of getting their schedules together and getting it filmed. But one film that I'm very happy that we're finally going to be seeing is a new version of The Thing. And this has been the better part of 10 years in the making. With the simplified version is, John Carpenter had a script. He wanted to direct. The studio didn't want him to direct because his films had been losing momentum at the box office. Kurt Russell said, I'm on board only if John Carpenter's on board. So they cut a deal and said, okay, fine, John, how about if you write the script, you produce the film, and you pick the director? Does that work for you? And he said, yeah, I can do that. And then he picked the director, him. And the Universal Studios said, no, this isn't going to fly. And then we heard, and this one scared the living hell out of me, we had, they were going to do a mini-series on Sci-Fi Channel. I said, all right, that could work. Then I heard one, quote, 20-somethings on a tropical island. And I was like, no. Now, this one is going to just try to wrap your head around this crazy concept. It's a prequel with sequel elements that involves the character of Kurt Russell's brother, but takes place at the Norwegian camp, outlining the events that happened before the first film. Because if you remember the first film, the Norwegian scientists found the thing in the ice and it went nuts, and apparently we're going to find out what's happened there. But the rumor is they may also have you know, people said, well, what's going to happen? The movie's going to end with the dog and the helicopter landing in the American compound. We know what happens from there, and some said, well, no, it may fade there and then jump forward to what happened at the end of the first one.